Hi there guys, welcome to part 2 of the Walther barrel machining. Sorry for the lack of communication recently. I've been really quite busy in the garage. We've had a lot of stuff to work through and it's just been a bit hectic. But here we are again with part 2, and we've just got to finish off the barrel and then give it a test. So since you saw the barrel last, all I've done is turn the entire OD down to 14mm. Then I've just got it chucked up in the lathe close to the breech end. Just a little bit more machining now before we can fit it to the impact. And first of all, we're just facing the end. That just ensures that the face is perpendicular to the OD, and it also gives us a length datum. So we zero out the DRO and start turning the OD. The OD gets turned down to 13.7mm, and I like to make my barrels just a little tighter than the standard FX ones. Not so they're hard to fit in the rifle, just so they're a little snugger in the breech. Once the OD's turned, we can turn out the little reliefs for the grub screws. And these reliefs are just so the barrel doesn't get stuck in the breech when you do the little grub screws up. Next we turn our attention to the magazine catch. And this is just a turned down portion so that the magazine has something to locate against. So we're turning a little boss on the end down to just under 10mm. And we're just putting a chamfer on the two corners there. Once that's done, we can put the breech O-ring grooves in. And for this operation I'm just putting the tailstock in. We could have put the tailstock in earlier, but I wanted to show you that the barrel was running nice and true to the OD. And we're just using a grooving tool for this operation. Without the tailstock support we'd probably get a lot of chatter, as this is a fairly wide grooving tool. Once the grooves are in, we can just move the part over to the mill. And the first thing we need to do with any milling operation is find the centre of the part, so I'm just using a wiggler or a centre finder. What we do is we touch it on the side of the part and then feed in until we see the wiggler come off centre. Once that's happened, we know we're on the very edge of the part, and we can just move along to the other side and, using the half function on the DRO, find the centre. That's in the Y-axis, and then we move to the X-axis. For the X-axis it's slightly different. We use the same centre finder, but instead of using the half function on the DRO, we move in the radius of the tool. So in my case the diameter of the tool is 6mm, so the radius is 3mm. Once we're all centred up, we can start cutting the little features. And the first one we're going to be tackling is the little slot. So we're using a 2mm end mill for this, and just taking nice shallow cuts. So once we're down to the depth we need, we're just coming back and cleaning up the sides. You want a little bit of clearance on this pin, just so the pin's not a really tight fit in the slot. Once that's done, we can just drill the transfer bolt out. So I start off with just a carbide stub drill, drill the hole, and then come back with an end mill. So on the 177 transfer bolts, the slot is 5mm long and 3.5mm wide. So we're using a 3mm end mill, and then just stepping over 1/4mm in the Y so that we get our 3.5mm wide slot. Then taking a couple finish passes just to ensure that there's no burrs built up on the inside of the transfer bolt. We do have to come back later and clean this out properly, but taking a few spring passes just minimises any burrs left in there. Then once the slot's finished, that's pretty much the barrel done. Just need to polish the outside, make it look nice, and then give it a test. Right then guys, so I hope you enjoyed the making of, and now we're going to talk about the results. So we took it to Pete's Airgun Farm on the Saturday, and it performed really quite well. I unfortunately didn't get no footage, as it was fairly busy in the range and I didn't really feel like setting up the camera. But I have got the results to show with you. So this is the setup we took it in, the red Mark 1. I know it says Mark 3 on the side, but that was just something I did. And this is the moderator we were using. It's just one of my test moderators. This just screws on directly onto the 1/2" UNF on the barrel and is nice and true. I wanted to make sure we had no clipping issues or anything like that, and I didn't have time to make a proper shroud. So I knocked that up nice and quickly. I used that on both the STX liner and the Lothar Walther barrel, just to ensure that there was no differences between the barrels. And then here are the results from the barrels. The ones on this side are the Lothar Walther, and the ones on this side are from the STX. So before we talk about them, I just want to say that the Lothar Walther barrel hasn't really been polished yet. We've given it a light going over, but as always I do my barrels a part at a time. I didn't want to come through there and do too much at one time, so this week was just a tester. We'll polish it next week and we'll retry it. I have got some more videos I want to do on the Lothar Walther, and we'll see how good we can make it with a little more polishing. So what I've done is 10 groups, each barrel on one piece of paper, and then I've gone through and marked with a line each group that was under a 5p piece or below 18mm edge to edge. The groups that are marked with an X are the ones that are outside that, and then I have got a stray pellet here which wasn't in the grouping, so I've highlighted that and I've excluded that from the results. So from the Lothar Walther barrel we had 8 groups that are under a 5p piece or 18mm, and from the STX we only had 7. Now I'm not making excuses for the STX barrel, but I have found that these barrels don't like shooting in the cold. It was bitterly cold in the range on Saturday, and I've always found they shoot a little better in the warm. And then what I've done at the top here is just calculate the average size of the groups. So this is an edge-to-edge average, and the average edge-to-edge size of the Lothar Walther barrel groups was 16.1mm. And for the STX liner it was an average of 17.9. So the averages for both barrels were under 18mm, but the Lothar Walther barrel on average was a little better. Not by miles, but it was consistently better. The thing that seems to let the STX liners down is the flyers. We see this group up here, a fantastic little group. No flyers, and it was really good. Then other groups like this one down here, 3 through the same hole, then 2 flyers. You do get flyers with a Lothar Walther barrel, but it seems the STX liners are much more prone to it. And it's something I've noticed on the whole with STX liners. But as we see, the Lothar Walther was a little better on average, and I'm hopefully going to be getting this even tighter with a little more polishing. Right then, with the results out of the way, there's just a couple other things I want to talk about that I noticed when fitting the Lothar Walther to the impact. The first being is less point of impact shift as you're shooting the rifle. I'm sure I'm not the only one who experiences this, but as you're shooting the rifle, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes what you'll get is your point of impact will sort of move around the target, then stay in a fixed position, and then suddenly it will move off again. It's something I've noticed with all 3 of my impacts. Less so with the other FX rifles, but definitely with the impacts. And it's something the solid barrel does definitely help with. It doesn't eliminate it completely. I think the chassis of the rifle is contributing as well, but it seems with a solid barrel that's much less common or much less prevalent. It's not a major issue, the pellets aren't shooting off like 2 inches to the left or anything, but they do seem to wander around the paper a little. Right then, last thing I want to talk about briefly is just a new barrel that we're going to be machining up. So this is a Lothar Walther rifled barrel, just a traditional rifled barrel, whereas this one that I've got on my hand now is a polygon barrel. So we're going to be doing the same thing, machining it up to fit an impact, and then what we'll be able to do is test back to back the differences between the different barrels. Now obviously we're sub 12, and a lot of people say polygon barrels are no good for sub 12. They're good for slugs and high speeds, but no good for sub 12 rifles. That's a common theory or a prevailing theory, so it'd be interesting to see if it's actually true. But we'll be machining this one up, fitting it on the impact, and then trying them back to back, seeing what the difference is. And then finally, it's just a quick look at the barrel finished in its complete state. So that end is obviously transfer port end, little reliefs with the grub screws. So there's the transfer port end. Polished barrel, I didn't blow it in the end. There's the crown end there. I don't know how well the camera's going to pick that up, but that's quite a nice little crown there. Loads of different methods you can use when crowning a barrel. That's just the one I've found works quite nicely for me, along with a 1/2 inch UNF. So it did come out quite nice in the end. I'm quite pleased with it, and hopefully we'll be able to do the same for the polygon barrel. So there's all 3 barrels there. Obviously the unmachined polygon barrel, the STX, and the 500mm Lothar Walther. Right then guys, that's going to about do it for this one. So hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.